when you push on the pedal of the slave cylinder, one of the commonly asked questions is, how do I know I got all the air out? It's because when you push on the pedal, the slave cylinder is going to immediately move. Hydraulic fluid or fluids are a non-compressible media, so if we have a bubble that's in the line that didn't come out, then that slave cylinder is delayed in moving. So that is a key question that we ask and a key question that we want a response to, that if there's a delay, let's say the pedal goes down 3/4 of an inch to an inch and there's nothing moving, clearly we have air in the system. So that's key in that particular question, so that you know that it's not an adjustment down here. Once you've done your mechanical adjustment, you really shouldn't be messing with this any further. But what is important when you do make an adjustment here is that when you push the push rod into the housing here, is that we want to be able to push this thing back and see that it doesn't collapse. If we have a collapse movement of the piston, there is a little spring inside here, and that piston may be arbitrarily or artificially forward where we don't want it. That is key, because if we allow the piston to be further forward, and we've done the adjustment here, even though we're up against the bearing, when we go to actuate this, the piston will leave the housing, causing you a leak or the piston to bind up and be hung up. And then you have to figure out how to fix it on the side of the road, or you're towing it home and you're not happy. So let's make sure the piston's at the beginning of the stroke. We use 1.2 out of a possible 1.3, so the piston should never leave the bore normally. You can always check this underneath the boot. You can just peel this back, and when you extend it, the piston should not be flush with the housing. It should be somewhat recessed. So that's another way of validating that. Okay? So when we also are moving the cylinder up above, we have 1.4 inches of master cylinder travel, and we're getting 1.2 here. Now, why is 1.2 so important? The bell housing is a fork with a 3-to-1 ratio. The bearing inside is a 0.4 travel. So you multiply 0.4 times 3, leaves us with 1.2, and we know that we should have a proper clutch release. Clutches in the industry for a cable release will guarantee to be released at 0.4 or sooner. So you should have some over travel when you modulate the pedal on the floor to give you the full release. So we've designed it for maximum leverage, minimal amount of pedal effort, and that way you get a smooth, controlled movement of your hydraulic system, hence our Lightfoot series. So that is basically the adjustment and a lot of the commonly asked questions that we get here with the system. Now, I have people who will say, well, I've got a steady stream of fluid coming out. However, they're not getting enough velocity. They'll try to do pedal bleeding, vacuum bleeding. None of those techniques work. The key part in getting the system bled is to insert our one-man bleeder kit right into the reservoir, squirt that material right through the port all the way down. You want high velocity to get the bubble to burp out. If that bubble is going from high to low, it wants to travel back up the line, and you can play this game all day long. So while you may see a steady stream coming out, it's key to get the velocity. Do it 2 or 3 times, and once you've burped that bubble out, you will get a firm, controlled pedal every time. So I hope this was helpful. If you need any further help, contact us at moderndriveline.com or on the tech line at 208-453-9800. And thank you for visiting with Modern Driveline.